And the jury will also decide whether Alec Baldwin was criminally negligent or reckless in his handling of the firearm. He faces 18 months in prison if found guilty. And you might remember that armor Hannah Gutierrez-Reed already received that sentence for her role in loading and handling the gun. Jurors deliberated for less than 3 hours in that trial before convicting her. Now, Alec Baldwin has already scored a major legal victory this week when the judge ruled that his role as a co-producer of Rust, and by the way, not just as the lead actor on the set, that it wasn't relevant and it can't come into evidence, which is gutting a portion of the state's argument that as a producer, Baldwin was more responsible for what they have said were extensive safety issues leading up to the shooting. The judge also ruled out certain videos taken from the Rust set, which prosecutors allege show Baldwin yelling at crew members. Again, a blow to prosecutors because they want to show he was creating a tense, rushed, unsafe working environment. But the judge is allowing videos, the prosecutors say, show Baldwin appearing to gesture while using a prop gun as a pointer and with his finger on the trigger when it wasn't called for. Jury selection is high stakes for every trial, but in this case, you have an A-list actor who most everybody knows, the good and the bad of his public persona, in a very high-profile case that's been in the headline for years, and in a state where a good portion of the adult population are registered gun owners. Gun safety is going to be an issue that cuts both ways for both the prosecution and the defense. So what kind of jury did each side hope to see? Let me bring in Susan Constantine. She's a jury consultant and body language expert. Susan, good to see you once again. You surprised the jury was seated in only a day?
I was just as surprised as you were. I mean, I was like, okay, this is going to take at least 2 days.
Yeah.
You know, but when you're going through 70-some jurors in one day and you're only, you know, they've got 55 minutes to be able to go through all of them. I have never heard of this before. I don't know whether you have, Jesse, but I have never selected a jury that quickly.
I have, but not in a trial quite like this. And, you know, I think people look at this and say, is it how can you find an impartial jury that doesn't quite have an opinion that might sway them one way or another? Because Alec Baldwin can be a polarizing figure. I want to play this right now. This is number one. This is kind of a collection of some Alec Baldwin moments.
I don't give a damn that you're 12 years old or 11 years old or that you're a child. So I'm going to let you know just how I feel about what a rude little pig you really are. You are a rude, thoughtless little pig, okay?
Get away from my wife and the baby with the camera. Come on! You're the one that almost hit my wife with the microphone in the face? I asked you a question. Do you want to apologize to her?
Please say it. One time.
Could you do me one quick favor?
Now, to be clear, Susan, there were jurors who said they couldn't be impartial. They knew about the case. One said they were very biased against Alec Baldwin because of his knowledge of unions. So looking at things like that, are you surprised that we were able to get a jury? And B, do you think since none of that's going to come into evidence, do you think anybody's perception of Baldwin's going to play a role in this case?
Well, especially if they're going to be showing this is what I call demeanor evidence. This is only playing into, you know, that he's reckless. I mean, the fact is that somebody was shot. We know that the beautiful woman was killed, and it was because he shot the gun at her. So, you know, given in totality of everything that happened behind the scene and the whole lack of following through with protocol, et cetera, is going to be a real issue. And I think this attitude is going to play right into the minds of the prospective jurors, especially on behalf of the prosecution.
And talking about the defense, though, and this is number 8, they told the jurors, the prospective jurors, that there is a man who's sitting here today. He's having his day in court finally, Alec Baldwin. So he's obviously not just a person in the media. He's a real person. How do you think that's going to work for the defense? What do you think they're going to amplify during the course of this trial?
They're going to only amplify that he's an A-list actor. That's what they're going to see. They've got this great big actor. He's very well known. He's been in, you know, theater forever and big time movies. And this is a small little town, right? Alex Baldwin is there. And this is like the talk of the town. So I think that there's going to be some difficulty for those jurors to kind of set aside the fact that they're in a room with a A-list actor and be able to come, you know, to listen to all the evidence and, you know, provide a fair and impartial verdict. I think it's going to be tough for them. But I think that when it comes to the opening statements, I think they should be hitting that pretty big head on that the fact they need to set that aside.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.